club was formed in 1907 by former pupils of KCS Wimbledon, and we remain allied to the school, but an open club attracting players from anywhere we want. We moved to our current clubhouse in 1992 after our clubhouse on Wimbledon Common burnt down and we weren't allowed to rebuild by the Common Conservators. Since then, the club has grown and grown through to the current project of building a balcony over the next 6 months, which will completely revolutionise the club once again and hopefully produce a wonderful place to play rugby, where our first team are now in London 1.
I've been playing at the club since I think I was probably about 4 or 5 years old. My dad used to play there, so it means the club means quite a lot to me, basically. So it's a big family club. I'm a born and bred Kings rugby player, as it were. The relationships that people have at the club and the way that it acts as a social hub is huge. I've never actually experienced a club like it, in that we have a group of maybe a pool of 100 or so players, and a lot of them, if not all of them, can consider themselves to be extremely good friends with each other. And that plays such a big part in what we try and do day to day.
We were looking at funding the balcony when lockdown just started. We had a big fundraising the week before the first lockdown was announced. And so all our other plans that summer went into nothing. Our captain, George Taylor, decided to do a big fundraising project then by climbing the stairs at the club to the height of Mount Everest. And he raised significant funds both for the balcony and for national health, which was a wonderful thing to do.
It made me think that we needed to do our part, both to benefit the club, but also to give something back to what was raising money and awareness towards what the NHS were doing at the time. No one's ever climbed Mount Everest in a pair of budgie smugglers. Still no one has climbed Mount Everest in a pair of budgie smugglers, but I sort of tried and sort of did it, so that's fine. That was where it came from, just something different to add a bit of extra element to the day.
It's just something about the club that the players seem to have a lot of spirit. We don't pay any of our players. They play here because they want to play. And that's something we're very proud of. And we've got some players that could undoubtedly play at a few higher levels than here. But because they've got their friends here, the players have really bought into that spirit. Alex Corbisiero is obviously our most recent link with the British Lions, but our link goes far further back than that. A bunch of us that are all still involved with the club, we're all friends with a lad at school called Philip Brooks, whose father was David Brooks, manager of the British Lions to South Africa. And when dear David Brooks died, we had the funeral here at the club, and we had most of that Lions team down at the club, which was a fantastic experience, meeting wonderful old players who had so many wonderful stories to tell. But then coming more recently, obviously Alex Corbisiero was an incredible lad. And with Alex from then, it was all history. He stuck with us till he was about 13, 14, and they moved down to Cobham with his family. And he then went to the American school and played for various other clubs. But I've stayed a very close friend of the family ever since. And Alex has been a wonderful lad. He's come down and helped us with various fundraising functions. But it's, as I said, the Lions has always been very special to us as a club for so many reasons. And Alex was a wonderful moment for the club. We're very proud of it, and we've got various pictures of him up and around the club and lots of his shirts.
If it wasn't actually for Kings, who knows if I would have found rugby or not. It is the first place I ever found the game. I had just come over from America to the UK in the middle of a school year. I was about 4.5, almost 5 years old. Paddy Ralston, who's still running it now, is down there, and he welcomed us, and I played with the same group of guys there till we were about 13, 14, till we sort of ran out of numbers, and then eventually migrated to another club together. But it's, I'm still friends with some of those guys lifelong. The club was an amazing sort of place for me to go to have fun. My dad would have fun. I've just got so many fond memories of Kings, and I'm really grateful for helping introduce me to the game and help building that love. And probably one of the reasons why I really came back was because I enjoyed it every weekend. I had a fun time. Playing rugby was great, but then hanging with your mates or doing tours or festivals and, partnered my love for the game from an early age, which I think is, part of the reasons that I was able to be successful long-term, is that I've been in love with this game since I'm really young. I think it was the community factor and the family factor that's driven there from the ground up. I think from Paddy, who helped found the club, and for his family are so invested in it too. It's a labor of love. It's done out of love, and I think that sort of trickles through the whole club and what it embodies. It's very much an arm round through my whole career. The club was amazingly supportive to me in my professional career, in life after rugby. They still promote anything I do, support anything I do, help raise charity, messages of encouragement while I'm facing cancer and adversity. It really is something that I'm grateful for, and quite a special place. And it's something that needs to continue in life, that these community clubs have such a large place to fill in helping shape people in their lives and their community and the environment and how they're brought up in life.
It's huge for not just for us as senior players and for supporters of the club that have been around for ages, but for everyone coming through the club, whether they be an under 6 or an under 18 that's going off to university. That knowledge that someone has reached that level of, arguably the peak of a rugby player's career in the Northern Hemisphere is to play for the Lions. To know that person, so Alex Corbisiero, started at a club like Kings is huge. It makes a massive difference. It's a motivation. It's something to look up to. It's an inspiration. And I think Alex has probably inspired several young people to continue playing and to get involved in rugby, not just at Kings, but across the whole of grassroots rugby in this area. So it's huge. It's a huge impact that it's had.
We are delighted to have won Canterbury Club of the Month. It's a real honour to the club and a real reward for all our players and members who have worked hard throughout the last year to keep the club going and to make its position really strong when we reopen.
It shows that we knew we hadn't wasted our time, but it shows that perhaps actually we have made a difference in the community and we have done something positive, and hopefully it's now a catalyst to continue to do more things in the future and to make sure that we continue to do our bit and keep that angle of the club and not just concentrate on ourselves and the rugby, because yes, that's really important, but actually the club is a community. It does play a part in the local area and give back to a lot of people. So it means a great deal, and I think it's a fantastic award, and hopefully it's an inspiration for other people to go and try and achieve some great things as well and try and win that award again.